a minority or people. A loud minority that terrorizes everyone who refuses to bow to their nonsense. Literally, how can Sam be gay? His one desire is to bang his hobbit love and have 100 kids. Yes, he can't be, although fanfic is allowed. Just don't talk about it. That inability to acknowledge that there can be a difference between platonic and romantic love is absolutely a huge red flag! You've seen this opinion so many times. Now it's finally too much. You start to shake. You rise from the toilet, beams of light shining.
Okay, we get it. You're a fat bitch who's angry that men can be friends with other men. You hate the idea because you want to control men. You stupid, dumb broad. Sam and Frodo were friends. That's all. It's like, oh, I'm tired of these feminists always making friendship between men and men gay. It's always about, no, man and man cannot be friends that way. A friendship like that cannot be that strong. Guess what, dumb broad? It's called platonic friendship. Whether you like it or not is a real thing.
Out from your skin, and you yell, "It is romantic, mother Frodo!" Piles upon piles of evidence soar into your hands. The tale of Beren and Luthien, themes of El.
Oh my, this broad is in the bathroom eating some freaking ice cream sandwich, getting fatter and fatter, and she thinks she's so wise. Man, get the hell out of here, broad. Ugh.
In light, morning, hope, stories, Tolkien's world as defined by him. Scene after scene, movie clips, scholarly articles, interviews. People run! You're too powerful! You've spent too much time idly watching as Lord of the Rings fans willingly and unwillingly encourage homophobia when defining Sam and Frodo.
Oh my, dude, it's called friendship, dumb broad. Stupid, dumb broad. You don't understand anything. You're the typical feminist who would say, oh, why are these males being great friends with other males? That's gay. You should only be friends with women. You should only worship women. You only should worship Puniti. Screw that. Male friendship is the best thing. King David was best friends with son of Solomon. What? Forgot his name. Jonathan. Yeah, Jonathan. Oh, but that friendship is not correct. That friendship was queer baited or something. Shut up, stupid dumb broad. I'm tired of these stupid feminists saying the males, the males can't be friends because they hate the idea of brotherly bond. They hate the idea the man and other men can be like best friends, brothers, will fight for one another. Ah, whatever. I'm really pissed about this, but uh,
Frodo's relationship as just a platonic male friendship. For so long, you've tried to consider that maybe they really are just friends, even though each time you read the books you feel very deeply that this simply isn't true. At last, you know you were right all along. This is exactly.
this is the problem with feminism. Women, not all women, but feminism makes women think like, oh, it must be that way because in my mind, if a man is really connected to another man, that must mean that that guy wants to. No, it's not a. They're not homos. If they were, that would make the whole story feel so like uh weird. Not because of like um platonic friendship existed way before anything. And I'm tired of people saying no Greeks were gay. They're not gay. They were just really good friends. I'm tired of these fucking feminists always coming up with this queer beta shit. They're not. Whatever. Let's just keep listening to this dumb broad talk about her stupid shit. I mean, dumb broad talk about her little theory of, oh, Sam and Frodo were gay because they were not. Whatever. Let's listen to her dumb theory. Okay, let's go.
Beat by beat, what happened to me a few weeks ago. I am enlightened, but now I must spread the good word. Because Sam and Frodo undeniably have a romantic relationship.
The good word is Jesus Christ died for our sins, and He's the only Savior. And they did not have a, and Sam and Frodo did not have a romantic relationship. It's called platonic friendship, you dumb broad. If you don't want to accept that, maybe you never had a true friend. Maybe you never would die for your friend. But a man who would die for his friends does not see his friends as. It's so weird how these feminists never understand that friendship is beyond transactional. Whatever, man. I'm tired of these dumb broads always doing this stupid shit.
Any discussion that they are just platonic is ignoring what defines romantic in Tolkien's universe, and purely focusing on the fact that Sam marries a woman. It is an offense to Sam and Frodo, to Tolkien, to ignore the themes which he so carefully developed, and, frankly, is homophobic.
Oh, that stupid ass music. Shut up. Ugh.
To identify what is romantic in Tolkien's world, just look at the tale of Beren and Luthien, a story so important to Tolkien that these names are on the gravestone he shares with his wife. This union of a man and an elf repeats itself in Arwen and Aragorn. Their story begins when Beren first sees Luthien in the luscious forests of Doriath. As the light upon the leaves of trees, as the voice of clear waters, as the stars above the mists of the world, such was her glory and her loveliness, and in her face was a shining light. In his article, Good and Evil in J.R.R. Tolkien's Legendarium, Yuruke Korpua writes of the significance of elves as beings of light. He references the scene in Fellowship where, on their way to Rivendell, the hobbits and Aragorn encounter elf lord Glorfindel. Frodo, greatly wounded from the Nazgul's Morgul blade, sees the elf as he really is. To Frodo it appeared that a white light was shining through the form and raiment of the rider, as if through a veil. Korpua explains that here, Frodo sees the inner light of the elf, the spiritual, and the immortal power of the character. Sam sees this elven light in Frodo. There are two scenes that strongly echo Glorfindel's description. In the Two Towers, when Sam and Frodo are first taming Gollum. For a moment it appeared to Sam that his master had grown and Gollum had shrunk, a tall stern shadow, a mighty lord who hid his brightness in grey cloud, and at his feet a little whining dog. And in The Return of the King, when Gollum attacks them on Mount Doom, before Gollum stood stern, untouchable now by pity, a figure robed in white, but at its breast it held a wheel of fire. In both of these scenes, Sam is observing the power of character, as Korpua would say, in Frodo as he uses the ring. However, for Sam, these aren't just manifestations of the ring giving Frodo power, they are akin to Beren's first sight of Luthien. This is because Sam views Frodo's light even when he isn't using the ring, which he notes while he watches Frodo sleep in Ithilien. He was reminded suddenly of Frodo as he had lain, asleep in the house of Elrond, after his deadly wound. Then, as he had kept watch, Sam had noticed that at times a light seemed to be shining faintly within, but now the light was even clearer and stronger. Sam shook his head, as if finding words useless, and murmured, "I love him." He's like that, and sometimes it shines through, somehow. But I love him, whether or no. Scholar Anna Small notes how, in this scene, although Sam responds here to Frodo's otherworldly quality, he does state that he loves him whether or no. Presumably, he means that he does not need to feel that Frodo is a sacrificial victim in order to love him. She is referencing Tolkien's feeling that Frodo is sanctified and
See, this is a feminist mindset. Women cannot see beyond friendship being beyond something sexual. It's so fucking weird. It's kind of disgusting how feminists don't understand it. I can be friends with someone deeply. Like, doesn't mean that, oh, I wanna hook up with, like, ah, pisses me off. Pisses me off real bad. How
sacrificing himself for others. However, given the prior connections I made to Elven light, this scene can also read as Sam seeing Frodo's inner elvish power and deciding he loves him regardless of this inner self. This could be because Frodo's outer self is equally elvish. The elf Gildor calls Frodo elf friend when he hears Frodo speak some elfish. And when Faramir tells Frodo that he has an elvish heir, Sam agrees that this judgment is good and true. Even the glimpses we get of Frodo's physical description are markedly elvish. Gandalf describes him as taller than some and fairer than most, and he has a cleft in his chin, perky chap with a bright eye. And the narrator notes Frodo was neither fat nor very timid. So, Frodo is a relatively thin, chiseled, tall, pale hobbit with bright eyes, all elven traits. It makes sense then to draw a connection between Beren and Luthien in Sam and Frodo. Sam is the admiring man, and Frodo is the ethereal elvish being. This is not to say that Sam is in love with Frodo in the exact same way that Beren is in love with Luthien, but it's a similar dynamic. Let's not forget just how much Sam admires elves. The first mention of his character is his father recalling how he admonishes Sam for always thinking of elves and dragons, because he was with those queer Baggins so much. As Sam and Frodo await their death on Mount Doom's rocks, Sam wonders how their story will be told, like how in Rivendell they told us the tale of Beren One Hand and the Great Jewel, in which Beren lost his hand trying to get a Silmaril so he could marry Luthien. Initially, I read this thinking Frodo is more similar to Beren than Sam, because they are both heroes that lost limbs. But then I remembered that, as he mourns the loss of Frodo's finger, Sam says, "I would have spared Gollum a whole hand of mine, rather." Sam would have lost his hand because of his love for Frodo, just as Beren lost his hand because of his love for Luthien. Beren and Luthien's dynamic also shares similarities with the other prominent romances in The Lord of the Rings, those being between Éowyn and Faramir, Aragorn and Arwen, and Tom Bombadil and Goldberry. Each of these pairings consists of two people from different groups, Rohan and Gondor, men and elves, the earth and the river. Being similar to Beren and Luthien, Sam and Frodo thus have similarities to these other romances. They come from two groups, working class and upper class. Frodo, like Éowyn, relinquishes care for his own life to save those he loves, and Sam, like Faramir for Éowyn, protects this life that Frodo no longer believes in. Frodo, like Aragorn, has perhaps finally found a place where he belongs in Valinor, and Sam, like Arwen, must lose someone he loves to be with Frodo, as he goes to Valinor after Rosie dies. Goldberry was born from the river, which brought her to Tom, and Frodo's parents died from the river, which brought him to Bag End and Sam. Sam resists the ring because he realizes the one small garden of a free gardener was all his need and due, a belief that very much reflects Tom's role as a master of the wood, water, and hill, essentially their caretaker, as they do not belong to him. None of these similarities are one-to-one, obviously. Still, the fact that these connections can be drawn makes it evident their relationship is romantic in the context of what Tolkien.
oh my, this dumb broad. Let it go, you stupid dumb broad. Not that way. It's platonic friendship. Alright guys, I really can't keep I shouldn't get mad, but I'm like, I'm tired of this stupid shit. No one can be friends no more because, oh, if you're friends with a male, really that close, you must be gay. That makes me question how society views friendship. Friendship is not, friendship between a male is not gay. Unless a depraved society views it as that way because they're very degenerate, perverted, disgusting, thou worshipping civilization.
And classifies as romantic. And what Tolkien classifies as romantic is arguably not romantic in the stereotypical sense at all. The only real difference between Sam and Frodo and all these other couples is that Sam and Frodo do not marry and have children. These two characteristics are what make a couple canon. That's it. Never mind any emotional connections or intimate moments that, when between a man and a woman, are romantic, but when between two male-presenting halflings, are just platonic. But this fact that Sam and Frodo are both male-presenting does make all the difference. I would be wrong to analyze their relationship by classifying them as we classify Tolkien's heterosexual couples. Their dynamic shows strong similarities with the dynamics of Tolkien's romances, but their relationship, their romance, shows its power in the ways it deviates from the others, the ways it encompasses more legends than just Beren and Luthien, the way the notion of their relationship being a romance at all embodies the core themes of strength in minorities and outcasts in Tolkien's works. We have explored how Sam loves Frodo as a representation of light, but Frodo also loves Sam as a representation of light, specifically as morning. In The Two Towers, as Frodo watches a host of Mordor march out from Minas Morgul, he is gripped by the power of the ring, and is saved by holding the Phial of Galadriel. But then he thinks of Faramir and the power of Sauron's armies, and spirals into doubt. I am too late. All is lost. I tarried on the way. All is lost. Even if my errand is performed, no one will ever know. There will be no one I can tell. It will be in vain. Here we get a glimpse into Frodo's internal struggle that we get less of as he becomes more influenced by the ring. It recalls the moments in Fellowship when it is clear how much Frodo desires to complete his task for others. When the Fellowship is trying to camp on Caradhras, Frodo imagines Bilbo's voice saying, "I don't think much of your diary. Snowstorms on January the 12th? There was no need to come back to report that." And in response, Frodo says, "But I wanted rest and sleep, Bilbo." Then, once they are defeated by Caradhras, Frodo wishes he was back in Rivendell, but wonders, "But how can I return without shame? Unless there is indeed no other way, and we are already defeated." Clearly, even from the start of his task to destroy the ring, Frodo has a deep desire to succeed for others, which is what makes this moment as hosts of Mordor pass so tragic. But suddenly, at a great distance, as if it came out of memories of the Shire, some sunlit early morning, when the day called and doors were opening, he heard Sam's voice speaking. "Wake up, Mr. Frodo, wake up!" Had the voice added, "Your breakfast is ready," he would hardly have been surprised. Sam draws Frodo back to reality, making Frodo smile grimly, feeling now, as clearly as a moment before he had felt the opposite, that what he had to do, if he could, and that whether Faramir or Aragorn or Elrond or Galadriel or Gandalf or anyone else ever knew about it was beside the purpose. Sam, in the Shire, woke Frodo up and presumably prepared him breakfast. Given that Sam is a gardener, this means that Sam felt such a desire to serve Frodo that he also made him breakfast, even if it's not his official job. The memory of these mornings is sunlit and full of hope, with the day calling and doors opening. Just as Sam sees Frodo as hope, through an elvish being of goodness and light, Frodo sees Sam as hope through a representation of daylight, morning, and wakefulness. The simple humility of Sam's light is so strong to Frodo that he embraces this humility and accepts that he will destroy the ring, even if no one knows it. Frodo is woken by Sam again on the stairs of Cirith Ungol. Frodo stirred and opened his eyes and smiled, seeing Sam's face bending over him. "Calling me early, aren't you, Sam?" he said. "It's dark still." Frodo's smile indicates a love for Sam that is much more understated than Sam's blatant "I love him" when he saw Frodo's light in Ithilien. It shows a comfortability, a domesticity.
That's friendship done broad. I feel like this done broad is either bisexual or lesbo. She can't understand that friendship is beyond whatever she thinks it is. Alright. I can't keep listening to this dumb broad, so there's like that's it. No more.